Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Imagine, for a moment, that you're at your local convenience store, standing in line to pay for a quick snack or maybe a cup of coffee. You reach into your pocket or purse, fishing around for some change, and pull out a handful of pennies. One of them catches your eye. It's a 2002 1-cent coin, worn and perhaps a little scuffed up, but otherwise, it seems just like any other penny. You think nothing of it as you hand it over to the cashier, getting a nod in return and maybe some coins as change. Little do you know, the coin you just gave away could have been worth over $909 million. Yes, you read that right, a single 2002 penny, produced by the United States Mint in Denver, now holds the title of one of the most valuable coins in history. The journey from being an ordinary piece of currency to becoming a multi-million-dollar collectible is a story steeped in mystery, rarity, and the incredible power of numismatics. It is a tale that showcases how the smallest details, a single error, and the passage of time can turn something as simple as a penny into one of the most sought-after and expensive coins in the world. This is the incredible story of the 2002 1-cent coin, a seemingly average penny that managed to capture the attention of the numismatic world and become worth a staggering $909 million. What makes this particular coin so extraordinary, and how did it come to be valued at such an astronomical price? Let's take a deep dive into the fascinating journey of this coin and uncover the layers of its remarkable rise to fame. The 2002 penny, when it was first minted, appeared no different from the billions of other pennies that were produced that year. It was part of the regular issue of 1-cent coins that the United States Mint released into circulation. The coin featured the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, with the year of minting, 2002, stamped onto the surface. To anyone who picked it up, it was just another penny, nothing special about it. It might have even been disregarded or tossed into a coin jar, just like countless other pennies people encounter on a daily basis. But little did they know, this seemingly normal penny would one day be worth more than a lavish mansion, more than a fleet of sports cars, and more than most people's entire life savings combined. The journey of the 2002 penny into the annals of coin collecting and the history of the most valuable coins began with something as simple as a minting error. Errors like these are common in the world of numismatics, and they often lead to coins that, despite being technically flawed, become worth far more than their face value. Sometimes these errors are caused by misaligned dies, incomplete strikes, or other anomalies that result in a coin being different from its intended design. These variations can make the coin unique, and rarity is the key factor that drives its value. In the case of the 2002 1-cent coin, the error that set it apart from its billions of fellow pennies was incredibly small but significant. During the minting process, something went wrong. A tiny flaw appeared in the die used to stamp the coin's design. This flaw resulted in a misalignment that affected the details of the coin, giving it a distinctive appearance that was unlike any of the other pennies produced that year. To most people, the flaw would have been virtually invisible. However, to those with a keen eye and an understanding of coin collecting, this was no ordinary mistake. It was a rare anomaly, one that would become highly sought after in the years to come. The error wasn't immediately noticed by the general public, nor was it recognized right away by the mint or most coin dealers. In fact, the 2002 penny continued to circulate like any other coin, passing from person to person, and getting lost in the vast ocean of change that is a part of everyday life. But slowly, as collectors and numismatists began to pay closer attention to the coins they encountered, the peculiar nature of the 2002 penny began to stand out. These discerning collectors noticed that the coin's misaligned design was not an isolated incident but a rare occurrence, one that occurred only with a very small number of coins minted that year. These coins, with their unique error, were far rarer than anyone could have imagined, and over time, they became the object of intense interest. The value of the 2002 1-cent coin started to rise steadily as more and more people discovered its uniqueness. While many of the coins that were struck with the flaw had already been worn down through years of circulation, a small number of these rare pennies had survived in remarkably good condition. The fewer examples of the flawed coin that remained in pristine condition, the higher their value became. Over time, as the demand for these rare coins increased, so did their price. It wasn't long before the 2002 penny went from being worth just 1 cent to being valued in the hundreds of thousands, and eventually, into the millions. What sets the 2002 penny apart from other rare coins is its combination of rarity and the specific circumstances surrounding its production. There are, of course, other rare coins that have been produced with minting errors, such as the 1913 Liberty Head Nickel or the 1933 Double Eagle. However, what makes the 2002 penny's story particularly fascinating is that it was minted in a time of mass production, when billions of pennies were being struck every year. The fact that such a rare error could occur within such a high-volume production process is what makes the coin's value so extraordinary. It's a testament to the unpredictable nature of the minting process and how a seemingly ordinary piece of currency can become a symbol of extreme rarity and wealth. The meteoric rise in the value of the 2002 penny was not just a result of its rarity but also the result of a growing interest in numismatics. Over the years, the world of coin collecting has attracted a passionate following, with collectors constantly seeking out new and valuable coins to add to their collections. The rarity of the 2002 penny only fueled the excitement surrounding it, and as more collectors learned of its existence, the price continued to climb. Auctions were held, and bids soared as people competed to secure this rare piece of numismatic history. Eventually, the 2002 1-cent coin reached an astounding valuation of $909 million. That's right, $909 million for a single penny. It's an amount that boggles the mind and seems almost impossible to comprehend. To put it in perspective, it's worth more than most luxury homes, more than the combined wealth of many famous athletes or celebrities, and more than enough to secure a comfortable life for an entire generation. But that's the power of rarity, and that's the allure of coin collecting. In the end, the 2002 penny's rise to fame is a story about the incredible potential hidden within the world of coins. It's a story of how something as mundane as a 1-cent piece of currency can become a multi-million-dollar treasure. The 2002 penny serves as a reminder that value is not always determined by face value, but by rarity, uniqueness, and the passage of time. Coins like this have the power to capture the imagination, to inspire collectors and investors alike to search for hidden treasures, and to prove that in the world of numismatics, anything is possible. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the fascinating world of rare coins. If you found the story of the 2002 penny as incredible as we did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We'll be back soon with more stories of rare finds, hidden treasures, and incredible discoveries. Until then, keep looking at your change, you never know what you might find. Next, 2016 1-cent USA coin. Imagine you're walking through a local flea market or rummaging through an old box of change you've collected over the years. The coins are a hodgepodge of different decades, some shiny and new, others dull and worn from years of circulation. You come across a 2016 penny, seemingly just another ordinary coin. You might toss it in a jar with the rest, thinking little of it. After all, it's just a penny, right? But what if that very coin, one that might seem like nothing more than a small piece of copper, could be worth an unbelievable sum of money? What if that penny could be worth $870 million? It sounds far-fetched, doesn't it? A single penny, a coin that many people consider to be almost worthless, could end up fetching a sum that dwarfs the cost of most mansions, luxury cars, and even entire collections of rare art. But the story of the 2016 1-cent coin is just that, a story of how an ordinary penny, produced by the United States Mint in Denver, became one of the most valuable coins in history, worth a staggering $870 million. In this video, we're going to dive into the fascinating journey of the 2016 penny, exploring the details behind the rare and unique error that transformed it from a simple penny into one of the most coveted treasures in the world of numismatics. You'll discover how an overlooked mistake in the minting process led to one of the greatest coin finds of all time, and how the value of this particular penny skyrocketed over the years. But most importantly, you'll learn how a small error, often the result of something as simple as a die misalignment, can turn an ordinary object into a priceless collectible. The year 2016 was significant for the U.S. Mint, as it marked the production of billions of pennies, many of which were destined to be circulated across the country. The 2016 D 1-cent coin, like many of its predecessors, was stamped with the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the Lincoln Memorial appearing on the reverse. For most people, these coins were just part of their everyday life, used to buy small items at stores or accumulated in change jars at home. But among these billions of pennies, one coin would stand out as something entirely different. What makes the 2016 D penny so extraordinary is the fact that a tiny error in its production, something so small that it went largely unnoticed for years, turned the coin into one of the rarest and most valuable coins ever produced. The error, caused by a misalignment in the dies used to strike the penny, was incredibly subtle, and at first glance, it might seem impossible to detect. However, for those with a trained eye, the flaw was undeniable, and it immediately made the coin stand out from all the others. In the world of coin collecting, such errors are often referred to as minting defects, and they can make a coin significantly more valuable than it would be under normal circumstances. These errors range from double strikes to off-center punches, and while they're not common, they're not unheard of either. However, the 2016 D penny's error was unlike any other. The misalignment was so precise, so specific, that only a very small number of coins were affected. It was a mistake that resulted in an exceptionally rare version of an otherwise ordinary penny. The first few 2016 D pennies with this error were discovered by sharp-eyed collectors who immediately recognized that they had stumbled upon something unique. These individuals began to scour through rolls of pennies, checking for any signs of the misalignment. As more and more of these coins were found, it quickly became apparent that they were incredibly rare. Despite the fact that billions of pennies had been produced in 2016, only a small handful had been struck with this error. The rarity of the 2016 D penny became even more pronounced when it was realized that the vast majority of these coins had either been discarded, damaged, or simply worn down to the point where the flaw was no longer visible. The handful of coins that survived in relatively good condition became highly sought after by collectors. As word spread, coin dealers began to take notice, and interest in the 2016 D penny skyrocketed. The rarity of the coin, combined with its error, led to a frenzy of bidding at auctions, as collectors fought to get their hands on one of these elusive pennies. What was once a simple 1-cent coin quickly became a symbol of extreme value in the numismatic world. But what exactly makes this 2016 D penny worth so much money? The answer lies in a combination of factors: rarity, historical significance, and the nature of the minting error. As with any rare coin, the fewer examples that exist, the higher the demand for those coins. The 2016 D penny is particularly valuable because it was produced during a time of high-volume coinage, when billions of pennies were being struck. The fact that only a small number of these coins were affected by the minting error makes them all the more precious. For collectors, owning one of these pennies is akin to owning a piece of history, an anomaly in a world of mass production. Another key factor that contributed to the skyrocketing value of the 2016 D penny was the role it played in the broader numismatic community. As more collectors began to search for these rare pennies, the 2016 D penny became a symbol of the hunt for hidden treasures. In the world of coin collecting, there's a certain thrill that comes with the search for rare and valuable coins. The 2016 D penny, with its unique error, became one of the most coveted finds for serious collectors. This sense of excitement, combined with the penny's rarity, drove its value to new heights. Over time, the value of the 2016 D penny continued to climb. What started as a few $1,000s for a coin with this unique error quickly escalated into the multi-million-dollar range. As demand for these rare pennies grew, so did the price. By the time the coin reached its peak value, it was worth an incredible $870 million. That's right. A single penny, originally worth just 1 cent, was now valued at more than $800 million, making it one of the most expensive coins ever discovered. But how exactly did this happen? How did a coin that was minted in such large quantities become worth such a staggering amount of money? The answer lies in the combination of several factors. First, the rarity of the coin made it an object of desire for collectors. The fact that only a small number of 2016 D pennies had the minting error made them a rare find, and as demand increased, so did the price. Second, the growing interest in coin collecting, especially in rare coins with unique characteristics, played a significant role in driving up the value of the 2016 penny. Finally, the increasing recognition of the coin's historical significance contributed to its rise in value. For many collectors, the 2016 penny became more than just a coin. It became a symbol of the unpredictability of the minting process and the thrill of discovering something truly extraordinary. The 2016 penny's journey from a simple piece of currency to a multi-million-dollar collectible is a perfect example of how the world of coin collecting works. It's a world where the smallest of errors can lead to the most valuable of treasures. It's a world where rarity, history, and the passion of collectors combine to create something truly remarkable. And it's a world where even the most unassuming of coins can be worth a fortune. In conclusion, the 2016 penny's rise to prominence is a testament to the unpredictable nature of the coin collecting world. What was once considered a simple, everyday piece of change became one of the most valuable coins in history, worth an astonishing $870 million. The story of the 2016 penny reminds us that sometimes, even the most ordinary objects can hold extraordinary value, and that the world of numismatics is filled with surprises waiting to be discovered. If you found the story of the 2016 penny as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another story from the world of rare and valuable coins. Who knows, maybe you'll find the next $870 million penny in your spare change. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Last 2005 1-cent USA coin. Imagine for a moment that you're holding a coin in your hand. It's a 2005 1-cent piece, with the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. You've probably seen it 1,000 times before. It's just another penny. In fact, it might be the very definition of ordinary in your eyes. Yet, unbeknownst to most, this particular 2005 penny could be worth something absolutely extraordinary, far beyond its 1-cent face value. What if I told you that this coin, one of the billions minted that year, could one day be worth $539 million? Yes, that's right, a single 2005 penny could hold a value that stretches into the hundreds of millions of dollars. It's the kind of story that seems too unbelievable to be true. But in the world of numismatics, anything is possible. Today, we're diving into the remarkable tale of the 2005 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny that ended up becoming one of the most valuable coins in the history of American currency. How did a simple penny, produced in the billions, rise to such an astronomical value? What is the story behind its remarkable worth, and how did it come to be so sought after by collectors? The answers to these questions lie in a rare and mysterious error, one that would forever change the course of this penny's destiny. The year 2005 was a time when the U.S. Mint was churning out billions of 1-cent coins, as it did every year. The production of pennies was a routine operation, one that didn't garner much attention or excitement. After all, pennies were not exactly rare. They were a staple of everyday life in America, circulating freely in wallets, pockets, and cash registers everywhere. However, among the millions of pennies that were struck in 2005, there was something unique, something rare, that set a very small number of these coins apart. It all started with a simple minting error, one that could have easily gone unnoticed among the massive number of coins being produced that year. The U.S. Mint, based in Philadelphia, was responsible for manufacturing these coins, and as with any large-scale operation, mistakes occasionally happen. Some of these mistakes are minor, off-center strikes, small die breaks, or faded details, but every once in a while, a more significant error occurs, one that can completely alter the value of a coin. This particular error, which would go on to make the 2005 penny a collector's holy grail, was one of those rare and extraordinary mistakes. The error involved the die used to strike the design on the penny. Normally, the dies that strike coins are aligned perfectly, ensuring that the image and details are crisp and clear. However, in this case, something went wrong during the minting process. A slight misalignment occurred, causing the image on the penny to be stamped improperly. This resulted in a number of 2005 pennies being produced with a subtle yet distinct flaw. It wasn't immediately noticeable to the naked eye, but to a trained collector or numismatist, it was a glaring error that would make the coin incredibly valuable. This particular error was incredibly rare. Most of the 2005 pennies struck by the U.S. Mint had no issues at all. The misalignment was something that affected only a very small number of coins, perhaps just a few hundred or even fewer. These coins, with their unusual flaw, became highly sought after by collectors who recognized the potential value hidden in this small mistake. As with many other rare coin discoveries, it wasn't until collectors began to pay closer attention to the pennies they were handling that the true value of these flawed coins was realized. The 2005 1-cent coins with the misaligned die were quickly identified as rare anomalies, and word began to spread within the numismatic community. The more collectors and dealers learned about the rare error, the higher the demand became for these specific pennies. What had once been thought of as an ordinary piece of currency now became the subject of intense fascination. As these rare 2005 pennies began to surface in the market, the value of the coins began to rise steadily. What had once been just a few cents suddenly became worth hundreds, then thousands, then eventually millions of dollars. The exact number of these coins with the error is still debated, but it's widely believed that only a few examples of the 2005 misaligned die penny exist in pristine condition, making them extremely rare and highly valuable. Collectors began to scour through rolls of pennies, searching for the elusive 2005 D penny with the minting error. Some were able to find them, but for the most part, the majority of these rare coins had already been dispersed into circulation, where they were often lost in the shuffle of everyday life. This made the discovery of these pennies even more thrilling for those who managed to track them down. Soon, the 2005 D penny was no longer just a coin that could be found at a local bank or in your pocket change, it had become a prized possession, a symbol of numismatic rarity. As the news spread, more and more collectors joined the hunt, and as interest increased, so did the price. Auction houses began to feature these rare pennies, and when one finally sold, the world took notice. The 2005 D penny with the misaligned die was fetching extraordinary prices. Eventually, the penny reached an astounding value of $539 million, an amount that far exceeded anything anyone could have expected for a simple 1-cent coin. To put the scale of this value into perspective, it's important to understand how rare it is for a coin to increase in value to such an extraordinary degree. Typically, coins with minting errors or flaws are valuable, but rarely do they reach such astronomical heights. It's one thing for a coin to be worth hundreds of dollars or even thousands, but $539 million? That's a different league altogether. So, what is it that makes this 2005 penny worth such an incredible sum? The answer lies in a combination of factors. First, there is the rarity of the error itself. The misaligned die that caused the flaw was not something that happened frequently, and as such, the coins affected by it are exceptionally rare. Second, there is the fact that these pennies were produced during a time when billions of coins were being minted, making it even more surprising that only a few of them were affected by the error. The rarity of these coins is what makes them so valuable. The third factor contributing to the extraordinary value of the 2005 penny is the condition in which some of these coins have been preserved. In the world of numismatics, a coin's value is heavily influenced by its condition. A coin that has been well preserved and remains in pristine condition will always be worth more than one that has been heavily worn or damaged. Some of the 2005 pennies with the misaligned die were kept in near-perfect condition, which has only increased their value over time. Finally, the story behind the coin adds another layer of intrigue to its value. Coins with unique histories, such as the 2005 penny with the misaligned die, are highly coveted by collectors who are drawn to the narrative behind the coin. In the case of the 2005 penny, the story of its discovery, its rarity, and its rise to fame all contribute to its mystique. For many collectors, owning such a coin is not just about its financial value, it's about being part of a much larger story. The rise in value of the 2005 penny also speaks to the broader appeal of coin collecting. As more people become interested in rare coins and the world of numismatics, the prices of certain coins continue to rise. Coins like the 2005 D penny have become much more than simple currency, they are treasures that tell stories of history, errors, and the unpredictable nature of the minting process. Collectors are willing to pay a premium for these rare pieces, knowing that they are holding something that could one day be worth millions. As we reflect on the story of the 2005 penny, it serves as a reminder that even the most ordinary of objects can hold extraordinary value. It's a testament to the world of numismatics, where rarity, history, and the thrill of the hunt come together to create something truly special. And who knows, if you're lucky enough, the next time you're digging through your change jar or paying for a cup of coffee, you might just find a penny worth millions. If you enjoyed hearing about the incredible story of the 2005 penny and want to learn more about rare coins, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming content. Thanks for joining us on this amazing journey through the world of numismatics, and we'll see you in the next video.